Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's See What Happens. I am the World's Address, and today we are playing Camp W. Now, Dingo is busy today, so she won't be joining us, but I'm here, so there's that. So last time we went to the cafeteria, and we met a couple of new characters, and we also got hit in the face by a tater tot, so that was fun. So here we go. After lunch, your Camp W bunkmates head outside and gather up in front of Camp Center. You follow along to see what happens next. Ooh. By now you've met most of the other campers your age, or at least seen them perform food-based stunts. But you do notice one new face, attached to a boy. Attached to a leash. You were unaware that humans kept other humans as pets.
Are you gonna keep me shackled up like this all summer? I want to see my parents.
You got here 5 minutes ago, Wilfred, and I'm not the one who put this thing on you. They did. Honestly, I'm just waiting to be sure your folks are gone so that I can take it off. It gives me the creeps. Oh, that's sad. The boy looks beyond harmless, clutching a stuffed teddy bear, fresh tears drying on his cheeks. There we are. Wilfred, deceptively devious, considering his short stature.
Mommy!
I told you, she's gone. Look, you can see her car driving off in the distance.
She is?
Wilfred peers off in the distance to see if he's being told the truth. Just off on the horizon, a purple minivan kicks up one final cloud of dust as it disappears from view.
Oh. She is. Well, I'm sure she's gonna turn around and come back for me any second. Any second.
The dust on the edge of camp dissipates. It's clear that no one is coming back. Wilfred wipes away his tears and straightens up.
Another summer on my own, huh? At least I've got Teddy.
And then he pops the head off his teddy, exposing a secret compartment, and holy crap, and reaches elbow deep into its body. He pulls out a kid-sized survival knife and slices off the toddler tether.
I can't believe they keep trying with that thing.
Honestly, neither can I. You've really got them fooled.
Some of us are just born with it, I guess.
With everyone finally assembled, Piper pipes up. Usually on the first day, they like us to do some kind of icebreaker so that you can all get to know the new campers. I have a list of games we go around the circle... I have a list of games where we go around the circle and make up rhymes about the things we like, or give our favorite animals and colors. Stuff like that. But I forgot it back at the bunk, and besides, we've only got 2 new campers, Sophie and the other one.
Hi,
So, we're gonna skip it and head straight to our first activity. Either music and dance, sports, or archery. You, new kid, just pick an activity and let's get this show on the road.
Actually, my name is...
Hey, we ain't got time for your life story. Just pick an activity and let's get this show on the road. Sophie has taken up the post directly behind you, letting you act as her shyness shield. Oh, I can't remember Sophie's voice. Oh no. Just as a warning, each voice that I do for a character may very well be different the next time that I do it for a character. A lot of these are kind of in-the-moment decisions, but I'll do my best.
Technically, you are newer than me to this camp by about 40 minutes.
If you don't choose soon, this afternoon activity will turn into a nighttime activity, and I promise you that's not easy. It's not easy to hit one of those archery targets in the dark. Ooh, what do I want to do? I kind of want to do gardening. I've worked on a couple of farms in my time, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I'm going to do gardening, and also, I was thinking about the cook for the cafeteria and the voice that the sort of non-voice that I gave him, and I realized that while he does not exactly look like the chef from The Little Mermaid. He reminds me of the chef from The Little Mermaid. So he may very well get a fairly obnoxious French accent here in just a minute when we go gardening. So, here we... Actually, no. I've got a better idea. Whoa, that wasn't even one of the choices I listed. Listen, kid. I'm gonna level with you. The manicure that I got yesterday, I won't get a chance at another all summer. I try not to be that girl, but there's no way I'm going wrist deep in the dirt on the first day. Pick something else. Like I said, anything but gardening. Maybe tomorrow. Ah, bummer. I wanted to do gardening. Music and dance it is. You follow some of the other campers into the music hut where Sid greets you and hands out scripts.
What's this?
This is my masterpiece. For years I've been crafting my very own rock opera, and now it's finally finished. With some help from Piper. Well, your thoughts were all there, but I just helped you organize them. Don't be modest. Piper here is a bit of a theater geek. Who are you calling geek? I'm a theater enthusiast. Oh, crud, Ruby.
This took you years, huh? It's not very long. 5 pages.
It's not the page number that's important, it's the ideas in the page. It's all about a summer camp in the post-apocalyptic world. The campers are the only survivors left on Earth, and they must decide whether to let the world die with them or work together to forge a utopia out of the ashes.
All that in 5 pages?
A lot of it's improvised. Wilfred, I want you to play the villain because, well, typecasting. Now, the villain is an evil camp director bent on destroying what joy remains in the world. Sid shoves Wilfred towards a giant trunk of costumes marked Evil Attire. In Lie, I want you to play the new kid in camp. Again, typecasting. The hero represents the hopes and dreams of a better future. Since this is a rock opera, I'm going to use face paint to give you a totally glam look. Before you can object, Sid begins dabbing a huge paintbrush into some wild colors. What color would you say your aura emanates? Oh. Hey, cool. All right. We're definitely going to go with red, though. Oh, no. Oh, man. Decisions. Oh, crap. I do like green. I like green and red. Like, it's very Christmassy, I know, but... yeah. It's definitely yellow. No, wait. Green. Interesting. I can work with that. You're almost instantly covered in cold, wet paint. Is this house paint? It's an old family recipe, but maybe avoid swallowing any. Without a mirror nearby, you have no idea what you look like, but Sid looks very pleased with the outcome. Okay, so what's this rock opera called? That's the thing. It doesn't have a name. Why should art have a name? Would you name a river or a sunset?
No, that's dumb. It needs a name. All plays have names.
I'm going to side with Ruby here. The play really should have a name. Fine, Philistines. Hey, newbie, since you're the star, how about you name it? Oh, wow. What would you like to call the rock opera? I actually really like this one. I also like how this one's like almost a completely different shade. The echoless whisper of yesterday's future. Yup. The echoless whisper of yesterday's future.
Really? That's what you call it? Maybe we should all come up with a name together.
Too late. Lie has spoken.
Whatever.
Now, I want you all to take your scripts, memorize them, and meet back here tomorrow to begin rehearsals for the echoless whispers of yesterday's future.
What if we don't...
Nope, that wasn't it.
What if we don't want to come back here tomorrow?
That's okay, too. Just go where the muse takes you. Yeesh. I thought Todd Frittata was dramatic. Todd Frittata? Okay. You look down at your script. Your part has been highlighted. There's only 2 lines to memorize. The rest is just stage directions like feel the drama, act like there's no tomorrow, and improvise your own reality. Before leaving, you glance in the mirror. Sid really has outdone himself. Something tells you that Sid won't remember exactly what he designed, so you sketch it in your grimoire for reference later. Oh, good. What do I look like? Oh. Oh, I kind of like that. Neat. Oh, I wonder what the other options would have given you. Also, what's this button? Oh, that's not a button. That's just notes up there. Okay. The sun begins to set outside the music and dance hut. It's time to head out to the nighttime activity. You join your bunkmates as they head to the edge of the woods to meet up with Todd Frittata, who is actually the boys' head counselor and a super chill nature dude. Nugget follows at a distance, hopping among the branches above. We find Todd sitting on a tree stump, legs crossed, in a moment of serene meditation, dappled by the setting sun's last rays. He perks up as soon as the campers arrive. All right, kids, I gathered you here today for a very important and, extremely dramatic reason. That is exactly his voice. Look at him. Boy's head counselor. Seems pretty harmless. Prepare to journey deep into the unknown, to face off against nature, to peek behind the velvet green curtain of the majestic forest and see inside yourselves.
It's just a nature walk, Todd. We do it on the first night of camp every year. It's on the schedule.
Todd thinks everything's a journey deep into the unknown. Sid pantomimes drinking from a very, very small straw and winks so big that astronauts can probably see his subtle move from the International Space Station. That's hilarious. Is it just a nature walk, or is it something more?
It's definitely just a nature walk. In fact, last year you walked us through Poison Oak, and we got back. We had to go to the camp's... we had to use the camp's entire oatmeal supply and take a huge bath in it together.
I'm really struggling to find Wilfred here. I kind of feel like... they both look about the same age, so Wilfred and Ruby are going to have a very similar voice. And it's mostly just because I can't go super duper high pitch for an extended period of time and then be able to read everything else.
Sometimes I still wake up in the middle of the night, itching. I can almost smell the maple syrup right now. Nobody told you to use the flavored version, Wilfred.
It's getting dark out. Maybe we should start our, stroll into the unknown before we're eaten by wolves, that is. You don't need to be scared of wolves, man. Wolves are just Mother Nature's dogs.
Our wilderness guide, ladies and gentlemen.
The cracking of branches and ruffling of leaves off in the distance startles the troop. And we're off. Todd leads the campers, marching into the woods. It's serene, but definitely a little spooky, too. Oh, I like the lightning bugs. Once they're out of sight of the camp, Todd begins to speak. He starts off quietly, as if sharing the details of a secret conspiracy. As is tradition of Camp Whoopie-Witchy, it's time for our new campers to learn the legend of the bear claw bracelet, say the bros. Oh, I was talking about Bob Marley, but yeah, we can talk about the bear claw bracelet. You got it. It all began with the pioneering camper who first held it as his totem, Edward McGrubkin. An odd hush rolls through the group. Campers only whisper his name. McGrubkin. I just want to ask then, what's a bear claw bracelet?
It's only the most sought-after award in all of camp history.
Only one camper has ever earned it, which is a little misleading, since he technically invented it.
Jealous much, Sid?
I'm just saying it's not a traditional badge. It's more like a great honor. A great honor that, regardless of her super strength zeal for being better than others, even Ruby can't seem to earn. Ruby goes red with rage and whips out a badge-covered sash, holding it an inch from Sid's face.
You want to talk about badges, Sid? How about these badges?
It's clear that Ruby has earned just about every badge there is to earn, a fact that she manages to point out almost hourly. The bear claw bracelet, however, has still eluded her tiny grasp for so many summers. Whoa, chill out, you two. Unless you want me to revoke your good vibes badges.
Oh, you mean this Grateful Dead patch I asked you not to iron onto my sash?
I wouldn't mind having a Grateful Dead patch. Just saying. The very same. Now, back to the story at hand. Edward McGrubkin. Who is this Edward McGrubkin character? Edward was a camper just like you once. Well, like you, but taller. Way back when Camp Whoopie first opened.
Edward McGrubkin is a legend. He's the single greatest camper to have ever attended this camp by a mile.
Crud, I forgot what they sound like, too.
We looked into it, and according to our research, Edward McGrubkin isn't actually real. He certainly is something of a folk hero in these parts, but while there are many anecdotal mentions of him, they can all be traced back to other former campers. No official records bear his name. Birth, death, voter rolls, nothing.
So he's a ghost?
I knew it! I knew this camp would be the death of me. Am I a ghost right now?
Maybe we all actually died in these woods together and were doomed to walk the forest for an eternity, listening to Ruby brag about badges.
A fate somehow worse than death.
Which one's Blake? Blake's this one, right? Ella just said there were no birth or death records with that name. How could McGrubkin be a ghost if he never lived or died? Don't trust everything you read online. I can assure you, Edward is very real. The first year Camp Witchy opened up, it was just a small camp still getting established. Edward was one of the first group of campers in attendance. Hold on just a moment. I need to get a drink of water. Delightful. It was just a mom and pop operation back then, and it was a lot more rustic than it is today.
More rustic than this?
The wood chip paths between the bunks are considered a luxury by modern American summer camp standards. One day, a giant grizzly waltzed into the dining hall and attacked the camp director head on. The thing was rabid, foaming at the mouth. No one could distract it or scare it away. It roared so loud that it actually broke the glass windows. True story. That's all of them together, I guess.
You know that saying true story doesn't make a story true, right?
Edward sprang into action and saved everyone by fighting the beast to the death. In the process, he tore off the grizzly's paws and used them to go on the offensive, turning the tide of the battle. That sounds ridiculous. Offensive is right, poor thing. Afterwards, they stuffed the bear, and now it stands as a tribute to Edward's bravery and the legacy of Camp Whoopie. And how do we know this all actually happened? It's a good question. Well, they took a photo that day, which you can see for yourself in the main hall. Photoshop hadn't been invented yet, so it's indisputable. Sure. The group finally arrives at a campsite, just into the woods where the light of the main campus has faded into the distance. Todd sparks some flint into the fire pit, and it lights up instantly. I was expecting them to go somewhere else with that, to be quite honest. It's good to set your sights on the BCB, but let's not forget all of the other badges up for grabs at Camp Whoopie Witchy. In fact, now's the perfect time to earn one. Everyone takes their seat in a circle around the flames. Ooh. Oh, crud. I clicked the button. It said, hold on. I think we can pop this open real... Oh, no, that's just that. Shucks. Nope. Butts. Alright. So, I accidentally clicked the spacebar. And there's no way to go back a page. Nope. Okay. Basically, he asked who wants to tell a story to get the storyteller badge. Todd places a flashlight just below his chin, casting a terrifying shadow over his face. Bonus points for scary stories, but not too scary. Cleaning all of your sheets every single morning is seriously bad for the environment. Oh, I could tell the story of the Lakeside Institute for the Criminally Deviant, the abandoned insane asylum across the lake from the camp. Ooh, that sounds fun.
I know a story of the Shadow Man. He's a cursed old warlock who wanders the wood chip path across camp every night during the witching hour. Or have you heard the one about the, well, they call her the Bride, but the thing is, she never actually made it to her wedding before disappearing into the forest. So I guess they should really call her the Fiancé.
The campers sit in silence, scared to speak up, as if they may invoke not only a story, but a ghost itself. I want to do the Lakeside Institute, mostly because I really like doing Sid's voice. I've never heard a bad story set in an abandoned insane asylum. Sid stands at the fire pit, staring into the flickering flames for a moment before turning to you in theatrical fashion to ask, have you ever seen a faint green light coming from the woods on the other side of Lake Wet Bottom? If you stay up all night, you might see a sickly shine oozing over the horizon, beckoning you towards it. What is it? What lurks across the lake?
You already said the story was about an institute for the criminally deviant, so that's probably what's lurking across the lake.
Shh, it's called dramatic tension. As the camper who has been here the longest, it's my duty to pass on a cautionary tale, a story told to me back when I was a new camper. A warning. The year was 1977. It was a cloudy, moonless night. A dark fog rolled through Camp Whoopie Witchy. 3 campers were out late preparing to pull an epic prank, something involving a very sassy shaved goat, when they saw a green glow far off on the other side of the lake. A moment later, the light faded, leaving only darkness. But they were sure they saw it, and decided right then to find the source. Curious and persistent, they walked through the woods, the glow once returning and then fading, a short pulse as if to remind them of their mission. As they neared what they thought was the source of the glow, they came upon a massive brick building, decades since abandoned, overgrown by weeds and vines. It was the Lakeside Institute for the Criminally Deviant. Bum, bum, bum. Lightning.
Told you so.
Opened in the 1870s, Lakeside was a famous psychiatric hospital, dedicated to housing the most dangerous and insane criminals collected from around the country. Miles. Like Arkham Asylum? Yes, exactly like Arkham Asylum, and just as with Arkham, it's quickly become obvious that concentrating many insane criminals together in a remote area with little oversight is actually a terrible idea. Yes. And so Lakeside was shut down, its crumbling facade boarded up and ignored for generations. Until these 3 young campers stumbled upon it that night, 100 years later. As they wandered the grounds of the Institute, they heard a shriek from the top floor. But who could it be? The place was clearly empty and long forgotten. One of the friends said, "Geez, we're entering into scary movie territory," which people only say in true stories like this one. He decided no way was he going up there, so he bolted out the front door to wait on the lawn. Yeah, that's a smart guy right there. But the other 2 would not be dissuaded. They wandered the building, climbing the stairs floor after floor, each step of the old wood creaking beneath their feet. Creak, 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 until they found a long hallway that ended with a huge double door, and between the crack in the doors, the green light flickered on and off. More screams could be heard. The first friend immediately felt a queasy sensation, as if the green light reached out and touched him and made him sick. He was frozen still, unable to move. The other friend walked toward the light.
You should never, ever walk toward the light.
Yeah, that was a real rookie error. As he put his hand out to open the door just a crack, it flew open and sucked him in, closing behind him. For the next 5 minutes, his friends could hear him screaming wildly, until finally he fell silent. The queasy friend wanted to turn and run, but he couldn't. Something compelled him to instead walk forward. The door did not have to open and suck him in, for he walked through it willingly. And he was the next to scream. The third friend down on the lawn watched from outside as the green light flared and flickered in the windows above, lighting the entire top floor as if a noxious fire had spread down the hallway. He didn't want to go back into the building, but he couldn't leave his friends behind. And so he slowly walked through the crumbling doorway and up the rickety stairs into the green light. Soon, the final friend stood at the horrible doors that had taken the others, but he wasn't scared. He was determined. He was steadfast. He kicked the door open with all his might, and the green glow instantly faded. He stood looking into an empty room of old, dirty hospital beds and tipped over filing cabinets. "All right, dudes," he said into the open room. "Epic prank, for real. Extremely epic. You got me." But no one was there to answer him. Just some old vials smashed on the floor and a dirty old smock hanging on a hanger. There on the floor directly in front of him, an open folder lay at his feet. It had old vintage photos, faded and warped with time. They were photos of his 2 lost friends strapped into a giant machine with electrodes covering their heads. But the machine wasn't there in the room, neither were the friends. The room was empty and silent. The final friend closed the folder and looked at the cover. On it was written, "The Private Experiments of the Mad Doctor.
Doctor?
Yes, Doctor. It's German. Now stop trying to derail me. I'm almost to the thrilling conclusion. And ever since, that young boy who lost his friends has been waiting for them to return. Each summer he came back to Camp W, first as a camper, then as a counselor, and to this day he still waits outside Lakeside for the Mad Doctor to bring back his friends. working each summer as Norm the Camp Cook. Could it be? Clearly this story is a ridiculous fabrication. I mean, doctor, really? But why include Norm like that? You quickly sketch a picture of this so-called doctor, as you imagine him, into your grimoire. What do we got? Oh, he looks fun.
Everything is perfect.
Something along those lines. With the story complete and total darkness hovering all around them, the campers sit in stunned silence. Silence. So, before Todd can revive their spirits, a loud crack pops in the distance and echoes all around. The campers snap to their feet. Graham crackers scattered on the ground. Marshmallows are flung through the air.
It's an actual... Get it together, Wilfred. It's not a ghost. At least it's highly unlikely that it is. Paranormal activities are notoriously hard to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. However, Ezzy and I have been working on some new high-tech gear that aims to finally solve that puzzle.
Everyone reacts to the potential visitation in their own way, scattering in different directions. Before you're left behind, you need to choose where you'll go. Well, I mean, he's a witch. He's probably seen worse than ghosts. I ain't afraid of no ghost. While some campers head for the hills, and others duck and cover, not Ruby. Ruby grabs a marshmallow roasting skewer, lights it on fire, and holds it in the air like a Roman gladiator. Dang. That's something.
Evil spirits are not welcome here. Camp Whoopie Witchy is no place for fear or terror.
The night is dark, and it has clearly spooked the others, but not Ruby. Her courage inspires you to act as well. You jump up and stand with her, back to back, a pair of warriors ready to take on the world, harnessing her strength to lift yourself. Nice. We don't fear the unknown, we embrace it. If a spirit has arrived, we welcome a peaceful meeting between friends across the realms of the living and the dead. Welcome is a strong word.
As keeper of Whoopie Witchy lore, I know of every ghost, ghoul, and otherworldly legend who has crossed our campgrounds.
Of course you do.
There have been many, but none have dared bring in evil intentions.
There's a first time for everything.
Quiet, Sid. Listen up, Ghost. I will not have our lore tarnished by unapproved deviation.
Todd holds his hand up, pausing the dramatic action momentarily. Ruby's marshmallow torch has flamed out. He casually swaps the cooked marshmallow off and directly into his mouth, replacing it with a fresh one, and then nods. Continue.
This is your chance to expose yourself and be welcomed in peace. Or hide and be driven away.
Or just take Ruby and leave the rest of us alone.
Shh.
You and Ruby stand quietly, scanning the tree line for a signal. All is calm. And then suddenly, from a dark corner, emerges a pair of raccoon cubs who go skidding across the ground at your feet on a neon green ultimate disc. In a flash, they're gone into some underbrush. My disc, bro!
I told you I didn't take it.
Oh, we gotta try that. I know the perfect trash can lid. Oh, it looks like we found the source of our spooky noises. A couple of raccoons joyriding in a stolen disc. Looks like a lot of fun, to be honest. As for you two, you feel a bit goofy for acting so strong when there was no real danger to speak of. Ruby, however, has a righteousness that can't be touched. It takes a lot of guts to stand up to a ghost. I mean, we're talking about something that has already endured death once. There's not a lot you can threaten to do to a person at that point. And by challenging a powerful eternal spirit, you could have brought dark magics and endless fire down upon us all. But it still would have made for a great story to tell our friends and families back home. Todd takes a knee in front of the campfire and puts one hand on each of your shoulders. I'm proud to be your counselor. And this is for you. You really earned it. Todd opens up his hand, revealing something in his palm. It's a merit badge awarded only to those who show courage in the face of great danger, real or imagined. Your first ever. Oh, cool. I got a new badge. Oh, I like that. That's cute. And now you might all be wondering, Todd, wasn't it established last summer that telling scary stories late into the night is actually extremely problematic behavior that can lead to reoccurring nightmares and long-term psychic trauma? To which I say, yes. Yes, it was. Conclusively. So that's going to be the end of tonight's spooky stories. But don't worry, the summer is just getting started. Todd begins to whistle a cute little ditty as he marches around the fire, ignoring the huddle of paranoid children that he filled full of sweets and then scared half to death. Back to the bunks! Chocolate smeared, sugar dusted, and some still shaking, the campers make quick time back to their cabins, donning pajamas with record-breaking speed. You, however, have other things on your mind. You make like you're heading in, but let the door of the bunk close without you in it. Hey, Nugget, can you believe this place? Right? This place is creepy. It reminds me of those fairy tales about nice young witches encountering scary humans in the forest. I like it. There's so much adventure and so little learning. I think this place is pretty fun. Easy for you to say. You're not the one locked up all day in that smelly gym bag. Now that we made your mother wait all day, what say we put a little distance between us and this bunk and phone home? You find a quiet spot just beyond the tree line, out of hearing distance from the bunks. It has been hours since you wandered off, and you figure that your mother and Gadji must be worried sick about you. Basically, everything has gone according to plan. Mila's gonna be pretty heated when you walk in so late. I've always been proud of my own ability to push buttons, but you're a button pusher extraordinaire. Ah, to be young again. She'll be fine. Let's give her a ring and tell her we're coming home. Nugget takes a deep breath and prepares for an arcane ritual. It's time to initiate the Nugget phone. Though far away my feet may roam, I'm never truly far from home. For with me always is a gate, through which I may communicate. I call upon you, Nugget phone, connect me through this spectral zone. As you recite the words, Nugget's eyes close and a strange glow swirls around him. Transmit my message loud and clear, so those who love me most may hear. Nugget becomes still, like a statue. He opens his mouth, and out comes, well, like some kind of interdimensional walkie-talkie. Nugget has become a portal unto himself, transmitting your mom and Gadji's voices across space and time to you. Lai, where have you been? I've been worried sick about you. It's been hours. You completely missed dinner. I thought you got carried off by a kobold.
You really should have called home earlier. I know you can handle yourself, but that's no excuse not to check in with your poor old Gadji from time to time. I still saved you a slice of pie, though.
I know, I'm sorry. I guess I got a little carried away and forgot. I'll be home soon, though. What kind of pie? Let's can the pie talk for a second. Where have you been? Oh, I was walking around with Nugget, and we found some old stuff, and got to looking around and trying out spells. Since you want me to stay on top of my studies and all, and, I just lost track of time, I guess. If there's anything you want to tell us, now is the chance. You know Nugget is terrible at keeping secrets. Jeez, there's no terrible secret, Mom. We're just out messing around. No dark magic or anything to be worried about. I'll be right home. I feel 100% confident you're hiding something.
It's pretty much a sure thing at this point. But we still love you. Be safe, but make it snappy.
As the connection cuts out, Nugget comes back to life, the strange aura from before fading. So, what lame excuse did you feed him? I basically just mumbled until they gave up. When in doubt, Precisely. I guess it's time to head back home. I thought you might be a little more broken up about leaving this human kids camp after such an intense, you'd say fun, first day. Well, just between you and me, I plan on sneaking back in. Don't worry, I won't drag you along with me next time. Don't tell me this stuff. I need plausible deniability. Relax. Now let's hit up that portal home. It's not easy in the dark, but you find your way back to the side of the portal. Sure enough, there's your emergency whistle dangling from a tree branch, swaying ever so slightly in the breeze. So, is this portal supposed to open itself, or is that your job? I said we'd figure out how to open it, and here we are, so hold your horses, all right? Maybe it needs some kind of spell. Yeah, in general, magic portals need some kind of magic spell. You dig around in your bag for any kind of ingredient that might help you out. I could probably use these things I found back in the witching realm. They were where we opened it the first time. In your hand, you hold the locket and small purple flower. Nobody ever taught you an incantation for this type of thing, so you roll with it. You thrust your fist out in front of you, close your eyes, and think portal-opening thoughts. But nothing happens. If I recall correctly, there was an altar as well. I'm not sure those totems will have much effect on their own. I don't really remember the moment that the portal itself opened. We were standing in the woods, and everything was calm. Then there was a hole in the world, and a moment later, we were on the other side. Oh, I remember. I remember. You got all ragey, did a bit of shouting at anyone who would listen, which was just me at the time, but I rolled with it, and then you slammed your fists down. And then a portal opened. I've seen some things in my time, but it wasn't exactly a normal afternoon. Maybe you just need to harness a little bit of that energy you had. If I recall correctly, you were pretty peeved and shouting about witchmas. Try that. I would, I just don't feel like it. Missing out on witch camp all these years, I've always felt a distance between me and the other kids at my school. But here, after just one day with these human kids, I feel no distance at all. It's like, obviously there's more to life than getting perfect grades and being a famous witch. Those kids don't even know who my mom is, and they never will. It's just so wonderfully freeing. Am I making sense? It's called perspective, kid. You've seen the world from 2 dimensions. You're beginning to understand what depth is, seeing things from outside your regular point of view. There's no going back now. Figuratively, that is. Literally, we have to get back or your mom will come for us. Somehow. And it will not be pretty. But before I was so angry. I'm still not happy about the way she treats me, but I just don't have the energy for it anymore. I'm not sure I can do this. So what? We live in the human realm now? I mean, why not? Well, for one, none of the squirrels here get my jokes. Not for the rest of our lives, but just this summer. And maybe next summer. I mean, there's food, shelter, semi-adult supervision, and we're not even that far from home, technically. Mom wants me to study my magic. Okay, sure. I already cast 1 new spell today, and you have to admit, it was effective. Isn't that what she really wants? You are threading a fairy's needle with that logical leap. Your spell got a little girl pooped on. Your entire argument borders on nonsense. No way she buys it. Bet me. Oh, my, now you're speaking my language. What's on the table? Labor. Mom calls us home. I become your summer servant. You spend the whole summer sitting on your fluffy orange butt, sipping iced tea, while I wait on you hand and foot. And if she has gone completely insane and tells you that you can stay, what's in it for you? I need a sidekick. If I find myself in any tight spots with these humans, you help, no questions asked. Oof. That sounds like a pretty open-ended request. Usually, I wouldn't commit to something that broad. But you have zero chance anyhow. And why should I believe you when you tell me... And why should I believe you when you tell me what happens on this call? You know I can't hear you when I go hollow. If I lie, when I do get caught, it's 5 summers of servitude. You're lucky that I love to gamble. Let's do this. And I think... Yes. Alright, that is going to end it for this episode, guys. Next episode, we'll start with the next phone call. It was starting to run a little bit long, and I want to break this up a little bit. We were already longer in terms of this episode than the other 2. I do kind of want to keep them at around 40 minutes. That seems like a decent amount of time, and we can accomplish quite a bit. So, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you like what I'm doing. I really appreciate you guys taking time out of your busy day to drop in and see what I'm up to. It really does mean a lot to me. Thank you guys so very, very much from the bottom of my heart. You guys are the best. And as always, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.